We have kicked off our trip to Charlotte. We are celebrating our 3-year anniversary. So that's pretty fun. We drove up yesterday and arrived around dinner time in Charlotte. We did have to take a little detour because of the travel ban there in like the Asheville area. We got here and we ate at, what was it called?
Inizio Pizza Napolitana. I don't know.
Inizio Pizza. I'll look that up. Maybe I'll say it right. But that was super good. We shared a margarita pizza. That was like probably 30 minutes out from where we were trying to go. And there's some of that like in town, but we hit one on the outskirts a little bit because we were getting hungry. But that was really good, delicious margarita pizza, one of our favorites. So that was a really good way to start off. However, when we arrived to our Airbnb, it was fine. It was really cute. We were really excited for it. It had like this rooftop area that we were excited to like just hang out in. But it was dark, and so we just like got home and like started to unpack stuff, and then we watched Dancing with the Stars, of course. However, when I got in the shower and went into the bathroom, there were little spiders everywhere.
Little babies.
Little spiders everywhere, little baby spiders, and I was like, that's not good, and I was killing them everywhere. It was fine, but then we went about our business anyway. I took a shower, still killing spiders, and it's fine. But then when Cameron took a shower, a roach did crawl out of the drain.
Very scary. Almost got on my foot. I don't know. I'm proud of myself for not yelling, but yeah, there was the roach, and then pretty positive a black widow under the sink as well when I was trying to catch the roach.
So we are now at a hotel, a little bit further out of town, but that's okay because it doesn't have spiders or roaches, and that is key. And so this morning we had a little complimentary breakfast at the hotel. We're gonna go get some coffee and I think play some disc golf this morning, and then we'll see where else the day takes us. But no spiders, no roaches here.
One of my goals for this trip was to really, truly relax without feeling like I was wasting time. For me, that meant spending a lot of mornings reading and drinking coffee and just enjoying something local. Our first stop was Brakeman's Coffee, a really popular spot from what I can tell here in the Charlotte area. They had lots of yummy looking pastries and such, but we stuck to just coffee for today. I really leaned into the fall drinks while we were on this trip, so I got a pumpkin spice latte, and I spent some time reading my Agatha Christie book, which was really perfect for the vibes that we were going for. Then, of course, we made our way to the park that Cameron picked out for us to play some disc golf.
Man, this is really pretty out here.
Man, I really love how much Cameron loves disc golf. And while this was unintentional, you will see throughout this trip that we do a lot of disc golf related activities. Watching it, playing it, shopping for it, all of that. It's crazy though how much more I enjoy stuff like this when I've been able to have a slow but full morning already, so I had a lot of fun. This course was really gorgeous and we basically had it all to ourselves.
It's an incredible tree. It's right by the basket pretty much. Not really right by it, but it's a lot closer than it would have been. Thank you. That was going way right. Oh, no way.
For lunch, we went to White Duck Taco Shop, which we have actually been to before, the last time we visited Asheville. You can't beat tacos at the end of the day, and these were delicious. The flavors they have are always really unique, and if you add a little bit of queso, truly this was the perfect lunch for us.
Got back from lunch. It was delicious. Love tacos, love chips and cheese. We came back to the hotel, changed clothes, did my hair a little bit because we were gonna go into a different part of town and hang out there for a little bit. And then we're gonna meet one of Cameron's cousins for dinner, him and his fiance. So that'll be super fun. Apparently it's like a food hall. Is that right? We're going to some food hall. Forget what it's called, but we'll see soon enough. So yeah, Cameron's gonna get ready, I think, in a second. And
then come stand ominously in the shop.
Thank you for that. Might go to a bookstore or two right now, maybe. So we'll see. But the evening awaits.
So the area that we chose to shop in today was a little spot called Matthews, and it had just a ton of really cute local shops, thrift stores, bookstores, antique stores, everything you could ever need. And so we spent some time wandering around here, and that was really fun. That was my kind of killing time activity. And like I said, it was just really cute and really peaceful. It wasn't too crowded, and we found some really cute things along the way. One thing I won't forget is that in this really cute thrift store, they were playing instrumentals of Les Mis, and so I had fun just kind of singing along to that the whole time. As you can imagine, this bookstore was probably my favorite stop on our shopping spree. They help people publish their books when they can't get them published other places. They are really passionate about people sharing their stories, and that was just really cool to see. And people shared their stories up on this wall, and it was just a really beautiful business model. And of course, you love looking at books.
Got some cool cards.
Don't worry, because soon enough we also hit up the local library. Obviously couldn't really get anything, but it was fun to browse around. And then we bopped over to yet another local bookstore, which this one was packed of really, really awesome books. We spent a long time looking around in here. Definitely regret not buying something, but I definitely have plenty of books that I haven't read at home and with me on this trip, for that matter. Here's our next disc golf stop of the trip, another round, a store that Cameron wanted to visit. And don't worry, this was the place that I was when I found out that Liam Payne had passed, so never gonna forget that. Luckily, though, it was time for dinner, so that definitely helped boost my mood a little bit. We went to Optimist Food Hall. This is where we met Cameron's cousin and his fiance. This was a really cool place. Obviously, if you've been to a food hall, it kind of had that same vibe, but it was full of shops, and as you can see, there are plants everywhere, so it's just a really beautiful place. His cousin had actually never eaten here before either, so we kind of all got to experience this new place together. We ended up choosing to eat dinner at a grilled cheese place, which isn't always what I would pick, but tonight it was definitely the right choice. Cameron and I decided to split a Texas cheesesteak grilled cheese and a brisket grilled cheese, and that did not disappoint. But of course, we had dessert after because that completes a meal, and they had some gelato, and then we headed back to our hotel. We are on day 2. We have just loaded up in the car, and we're going to get some breakfast and coffee, and then we're going to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship.
Yep.
We're gonna
follow some cards around and watch that, which I think will be cool. I hope Cameron really is excited for that. I think it'll be fun. And then I don't know what we'll do for lunch and dinner, so we'll just kind of see probably what's around and what we're feeling. Whoa. But beautiful day, so gonna be another good one.
Our breakfast spot today was the Giddy Goat. And this place was clearly very popular because there were so many people there when we arrived and that came in and out while we sat around. Cameron was particularly excited for this place because they were known for their empanadas, and they definitely didn't disappoint. I kind of wish we could have had these again. I also wish we could have hung out here maybe on a day that it was less crowded, if that even exists, but it was worth it regardless of the crowd, and we still managed to find a seat fairly easily. I enjoyed yet another delicious pumpkin spice latte. Hard to say if it was better than yesterday's or not, but after we sipped on that and enjoyed our breakfast, we then made our way to the park for the Pro Tour. This was yet another really gorgeous course, and even though I care way less about professional disc golf than Cameron does, following the pros along the course was a really neat experience. I don't think I've ever really done anything like this, and of course, I watch my fair share of disc golf highlights with Cameron, so I was able to recognize a lot of the people we saw, and that was really cool. We started by watching the lead card in the women's division, and as that wrapped up, we caught a few of the guy pros that weren't on their lead card, and we did that before we took a break for lunch. For lunch, we went off a recommendation from some friends who visited Charlotte a little bit before us to this place called Haberdish. It was pretty late in the afternoon at this point, so the place wasn't crowded. We enjoyed some hot chicken sandwiches, which were really, really good. Not what I would usually go for, but they were delicious. So we scarfed that down and then we headed back to the course. Once the tournament wrapped up, or at least our time watching it, Cameron searched for another bookstore to take me to, and this was actually part of a business park called Camp North End, and this was just kind of a really cool thing that we stumbled upon, and probably if we looked for it could have found it, but we really had no idea where we were, and so we found this really cute bookstore. They had used and new books, and so that was nice. This wall I thought was really gorgeous with all the book pages on it. Just a really cute store. But as we wandered around, they had a little farmer's market going on, and there were shops everywhere and lots of empty ones too, where it looked like this place was fairly new and growing. Some restaurants, food, stores, art, everywhere. It was really cool. I'd love to come back in a little bit and see kind of what else they put into this area, but that was really gorgeous. Cameron browsed around a little bit, but we didn't really buy anything other than books from the bookstore. We weren't really hungry for dinner either because we ate lunch so late, and so we decided to do one of my favorite things, and that's have dessert for dinner. We found this awesome shake place, which does the very cliche, like super mega shakes with cookies or brownies, cupcakes, one of those things, and that was awesome. I got this shake. Can't really remember what all I put in it, but it was delicious. And like I said, dessert for dinner is one of my favorite things, so this day was near perfect.
It is now Friday. Today, Friday? It's Friday. And we are starting our trek back home today. But first we're going to stop and get some coffee and some breakfast. And then at 2, we have apple picking.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock apple picking, but that's about an hour away.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of easing our way there for the afternoon. And then we will go to Abingdon, Virginia for the night and explore there a little bit. But kind of enjoying a nice little morning again. Get hopefully another pumpkin spice latte. That's what I've gotten at every place so far. And they've been very different. So I've had quite the experience. Wearing my new overalls today.
Looking cute.
I do love them, I think. I've worn them once and the button broke, so a good friend fixed them. And now we're back. But that is today. So last kind of like day and a half of our trip. But It's been nice and relaxing, really easy. So I'm ready for another day.
Let's go.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee and breakfast was at Haraz Coffee House. And then basically immediately after this, we went and got lunch at a barbecue place across the street. But I wanted to note that at this barbecue place, Cameron happened to run into a guy, not just any guy, but the guy who owns and started the Another Round store that we went to the other day. And so that was really serendipitous. Cameron was wearing his hat that he got at the store, and the guy spotted him. And so that was really cool. Also, the food was really good. Cameron and I shared like this platter, so that kind of filled us up just enough to give us some fuel for our apple picking adventures. We drove a pretty good way before we got to the apple orchard, but it was a really beautiful day, so the time really flew by. And I was so excited to pick apples that we were just talking about it the whole time. This was really a goal that I had for this autumn season, and Cameron helped make it happen. He found this orchard for us before we even had this full trip planned, and kind of worked our way home to make sure that we could stop here. So we stopped at the bottom of the hill where they actually were like, hey, you kind of have to drive to the top. And so we looked around their store for a little bit, but then we headed on to the top. Clearly there was a van in front of us and behind us, so people were getting ready to apple pick with us. This place was huge. I don't think I have ever seen something like this before in my life. It was gorgeous, like just as far as you could see, apples, which is kind of my dream. But we hopped on this little bus thing and they drove us to the spot where we would start picking. And there were just tons of kinds of apples. I don't even know how to explain it. This probably sounds really dumb, but I was just amazed at the different types that they had. And basically what we did was we bought a bag and we were allowed to fill that bag up with as many apples as we could fit. And they also said as we were picking that everyone was allowed to eat one. So of course Cameron and I tried one each and shared to get our flavors to decide which ones we really wanted to take home with us. This was a really, really gorgeous experience, and I highly recommend apple picking if you are able to. It was really fun, really silly, and also really relaxing because we didn't really have a timeline for it and we could just wander around and see what there was to see. So highly recommend apple picking if you're able to at some point, especially in that October season. It's really, really perfect for it.
How are you doing?
I kind of had to pull pretty hard. Yeah.
Just munching. Before we left, we stopped by both gift stores. They had one at the top, but we decided to wait till we got to the bottom to make some purchases. I really wanted some apple butter, and so I was determined to find some and leave with a jar. But it was really cool to see all the things that they make and sell just through their apple orchard. It's kind of amazing. And of course, we got some apple cider donuts that we shared with our friends when we got home, and those were delicious. We did hit a little bit of traffic, which brought our morale down just a little bit, but luckily we weren't in too big of a rush. We arrived in Abingdon, Virginia at really the perfect time. The sun was setting, it was really beautiful, and we were just in time to get some dinner at this restaurant called the Pepper Mill. I had recognized it because I'd actually spent a little time in Abingdon a few years ago just passing through, but this whole area was really familiar and I was excited to spend some time actually exploring it and enjoying it. We probably weren't this hungry for dinner, but we did it anyway, and it was pretty good. Probably not the best meal that we had on this trip, but I love sweet potato fries. What can I say? And this was definitely a highlight of Abingdon, Anthony's Desserts. This place was delicious, and they had so many just really unique and delicious looking desserts. We come back here later, but this first night we decided to try an Oreo brownie, and they heated it up, and oh my goodness, did that hit the spot. That is my kind of dessert right there.
We are in Abingdon, Virginia this morning. Gonna spend a little time downtown, I guess you would call that. This morning, gonna get some coffee and breakfast and then shop around. They have some awesome antique shops here, so I'm really excited for that. We had dinner here last night and that one's delicious.
Very good.
And the desserts were really good too. Anthony's Desserts, I think we might go back there this afternoon as we leave and get a little pumpkin cheesecake, because last night we had the Oreo brownie and that was delicious, but that pumpkin cheesecake also caught our eye. So it's been a great vacation, but I'm excited for this kind of different vibe of a day, but I think it'll be fun to shop around, but especially to start with some coffee and some breakfast.
The Girl and the Raven was our breakfast stop this morning. This was more restaurant vibes than any of the places that we had been for breakfast yet, but still delicious. I did panic because I saw their specials and there was no pumpkin spice latte technically, so I got a bobbin for apples latte instead, which was still delicious and went really well with my avocado toast. Cameron got that bowl, which also looked really good, and this was a really nice breakfast. I would love to go back there one day. And of course, it wouldn't be our vacation if we didn't get a little disc golf in, so there was a cute park nearby that we popped over to. I chose not to play today because I was reading my book while we were at breakfast and was pretty into it. So while Cameron threw some discs, I read my book and walked alongside him.
Surprising.
No. Antique shopping is a must if you're in this area. Tons of shops to choose from, tons of really cool items. I'm really glad that we squeezed this moment into our trip. As we wrap up our shopping adventure, which was really fun because I had been to these antique shops before, I realized. We then headed to the community market down the road for lunch.
Sorry if your drink is warm now.
That's okay. These clips really don't do it justice. This town is beautiful and quaint and really peaceful, and I would love to spend more time wandering around here. And I know you were worried, but we did stop at Anthony's and get that cheesecake. Well, that is it for our awesome anniversary trip. We had a really great time, ate really good food, did a lot of disc golf things, but we also just had a really, really good time. It was nice and sweet, not too stressful, which was good, much needed. Highly recommend this area, this general area, this time of year. It's beautiful out here. Really lucky to have gone on this trip.